Okay, let's get started. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our event today, Supercharge 10x. I think you're all here to be a 10x developer, and I think we can make it happen today. So when you leave the event today, you're going to be 10x developer. The agenda for today. We're going to get started. We already had the food, so we are all ready. And we're going to get started with the panel discussion. Going to be our first point. We have a panel discussion on the future of software collaboration. We have an awesome panel today, a lot of experts in the field that will share their perspective.
So we have a panel today. We've got 4 experts coming up, and we're going to be discussing about software collaboration with Gen AI, and schema visualization. Where you all are, who's coming up? Okay, there's one at Komes over here. Okay, cool. Vineet, yeah, cool. So please come up, everybody. Come up and we'll find out who you are.
So I'm Jen. My real name is Nutcha, but you don't need to mind that. So I am the backend developer, specialized in .NET. I'm working in 7 Peak as a senior developer here. And in terms of the AI, I have run a couple of AI workshops with Microsoft. But I still consider myself as a rookie here for the AI world. Yeah, we have a lot of field to explore. Yeah.
Hi. So first of all, thank you for hosting this event, and thank you for inviting me to be speaker. I am Nonthapat, but you can call me Tan. I am a software engineer at Spacely AI. So our company is AI to renovate your home. So if you take a picture of your room and you want to renovate or to make any themes like Japanese, Scandinavian, then you can just take a picture and AI will recreate your home for you in just 5 seconds. So in terms of experience with generative AI, so our company is 100% generative AI. And I specialize in doing front end, so doing like all of those front end related stuff for AI. And I also did some model as well. So I could answer some questions about Gen AI. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Komes. Komes, Chandavimol. You can call me Mate. I'm not the expert here. I'm not the developer. So I used to be the data scientist doing the data analytics. And right now I got a new assignment to do the AI transformation for my company. And I'm from KBTG, the Kasikorn Bank. So in terms of enterprise transformations, we try to use AI in our company. Actually, we call the traditional AI or classic AI for several years, and right now, as Non said, the generative AI, we try to democratize all the Gen AI tools and all the develop the Gen AI use case within the company to boost the productivity.
Hi everyone, this is Vineet. I'm a senior quality analyst at Thoughtworks. Also, I'm very new to Gen AI. Probably I've been using it from a consumer perspective, not like into development and going deep into machine learning and stuff. Mostly my experience is from the QA side, so I'm going to share like some of the insights, like how developers can really use generative AI to test their applications.
The whole idea around today is software collaboration. And so let's get started with digging into how maybe some of the panelists collaborate with software with their teams or their colleagues in a day-to-day basis. So maybe one of you can just shout out a platform that you might be using to collaborate with software.
So actually, how can we start? Because I am not the developer, so I haven't interacted with the developer much. But in terms of the collaboration between let's say the data scientists and business users, right? So the things that we use in our company, or I think many companies use, is to prepare before the meetings. It's very basic one that everyone has to be prepared before the meeting. For example, like summary of the meetings or like with any action items before the meeting. So before the meeting, we need everyone to be prepared before getting to the meeting. For example, the developers, they need to understand what is the requirement on the agenda, or actually discuss with maybe the generative AI tool, any tools, to well prepare before the meeting. This is the first thing.
So does it send, for example, an email out to all of the attendees with a brief? How does that look like when you're attending a meeting?
The best practice is you don't need to start from the zero to go to the meeting.
Okay.
Anything that you can prepare before the meeting is better, right? You can do some.
And did you have a name of this software that you was using? Are you using this in practice now, or is it something that you've just seen in the field?
Actually, any tool that we can use to boost our productivities, because right now it's not to use only one tool. It's important to pick the right tool to the right task.
You know, we focus a lot on software AI tools that can help us with collaboration and building code like Copilot and ChatGPT, but there's a lot of project management stuff around software as well that also deserves credit. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, it's quite similar to what he said, but I'll add something more on it. There's as a developer, I don't think I'm not sure if it resonates with other developers, but I don't like meetings at all. So I like to just stay and work on my laptop, do some stuff before the meeting. So maybe like to have an agenda, to write an email, or to just notify everyone that okay, we're having this meeting. Taking like couple of hours, like half an hour off work, just to write that up and do all of those preps. Now, just like using the ChatGPT, you can just squeeze it down into 10 minutes or 5 minutes of work.
So in terms of the collaboration, so I can speak from the point of view of the back-end developer here. So for the actually, if you think in terms of like project management, right, just to produce the product and deliver to the client, it's require a lot of things and a lot of understanding and a lot of like communication. So in terms of collaboration here, I would say like the team, the builder, like we are the back end, right? We are the developer, we are the builder. So we have to trying to understand the business requirement the most, even from the PO or PM. So basically what I personally use, normally I'm just use like kind of ChatGPT sometime to kind of generate the, like over-refine the business requirement that I got. Like whether is it in line with the world that we live in. Like for example, if you want to have some e-commerce platform, right? You should be able to, so the PO will tell you one thing, but you have to understand how the world run as well in the e-commerce platform. So basically I use the generative AI to keep answering this question. And also the other thing that I use is like, as a Thai people, I would say, our English, my English is not that good, I would say. So when I communicate with the people, because as I mentioned before, we require a lot of communication in the teamwork, right? So I'm use ChatGPT to kind of rephrase what I wrote here and then just make it like more, I would say, professional.
Yeah, just to add, so all the tools that are mentioned, like we do use them, like doing meetings with other team members, asking generative AI to validate some of the information that you get from like other domains. But we at Thoughtworks, we also try to pair a lot. So we never work in silos. So always we are working in pairs. So 2 developers working on one particular task. And if you're a QA, like you have to actually pair with probably all other functions in your team, BAs, project managers, developers. Some of the tools that we really use are like Moodle or Miro or Lucid Chat, so which helps you really like in laying out a diagram of your mind maps and all that stuff. So we, as a team, or sometimes pairs, like how many people there, depending on how many people are in the team, we draw the diagrams of architectures and things like that.
Interesting you mentioned about diagrams, as that's part of this panel today. Do you go straight to the diagram when showing a new team member something? How useful do you find a diagram in explaining maybe a data model or infrastructure, for example?
I think it's way more easier than reading out lengthy documents. So it visualizes the whole thing at once. So you can really, especially for me as a QA, it really helps because I'm not really a visual person. I like to see things, how they are connected, what interactions are happening between these components and all that stuff. And it really helps me building a strategy for like testing, especially because I'm a QA. So it really helps me like, okay, these are the interactions that are happening, and I should probably write some of those tests on these levels or between these two interactions.
So what type of diagrams are you looking at? Are you looking at architecture diagrams, or are you looking at schema visualizations?
Mostly architecture diagrams. So yeah, like we don't really have any schema diagrams being created, especially in my teams for now. But yeah, like I understand the point. Like it's really hard to actually see or visualize the schemas. I think which HubQL really helps us. I looked at the website, and I'm really like impressed with the diagramming thing that HubQL is doing.
And
so
is any of the other panelists using any visualization in their day-to-day work?
I used to work at a previous company where I had to do tons of diagrams, and I myself, I don't really like how all the softwares work. It's just okay. It's like the best one I used was Draw.io, but still, I think for me it takes me too much time for what I already had in my head. So what I just did is I usually just use ChatGPT to like, okay, I explain what I want, then they get me the code of it. Give me a mermaid code. For those who don't know, mermaid is a language for you to write a diagram in code. It takes me to speak to the phone and transcribe the text, and use that text to create a mermaid code, and then use the code to render the architecture. So in that sense, yeah, I use GenAI in visualizing diagrams.
So you speak to the phone, dictate text, take that text and put it into the ChatGPT, and then GPT spits out a mermaid for you.
ChatGPT spits out the code, and I use the code to render. I use the code and run it on my laptop.
I know that HubQL supports a JSON structure, so I imagine you could probably take that mermaid code and translate that into HubQL's equivalent JSON structure, and then maybe you can visualize using HubQL.
Yeah, I think that could work.
I also use most visualized tool that I use is the mermaid. Yep, because in the mermaid because it's a code, it's not like a drawing a diagram, so it's easily for the people to edit if they know the syntax. So
both of you said that you use Mermaid,
Yep.
And I know that this is like an open protocol. So what sort of platforms are you putting your Mermaid code into to visualize? And how are you sharing with your team? Are you sending a SVG to your team, or are you able to go into the UI and move your cursor around alongside your teammates? How are you
kind of sharing, like I would say, like first is presenting. In the presenting, like I put the code and then it's rendered the diagram, then I show it to everybody.
on screen
meeting.
share? Okay.
Yeah. But the other part is like after everything is like finalized, right? I put that mermaid code. We use the Jira ticket to maintain everything here. So I put the mermaid code into the Jira ticket so that the people who working in this ticket, they know the diagram, they know the flow that they have to implement.
How you visualize them? I use the local compiler of Mermaid to compile to a PNG file, and then I put the source code of the Mermaid and the PNG file in the Git repository of that project.
Do you find that that's difficult to maintain every time that you change the schema, the Mermaid code? You then have to export a new PNG and then upload it into the Git repo.
you have. Back then, it was just me maintaining the whole code base.
Okay.
So it's easy to because it's just me. I know what I'm doing. So when I change the code, I know that I have to recompile, I have to resave, I have to edit those pictures again. But it's not really intuitive for a person to just jump in and just change the code.
It's one of the benefits of using HubQL is that you have a centralized place to store your schema, and then you can share a link with that schema, that visualization to other people in your team. And as well as that, HubQL is also going to read the schema from your GitHub repository. So hopefully solving a lot of the problems that you have, and then it can just read from the GitHub repo, automatically generate the visualization for you, and then you just have a permalink that you can share with your whole team. So some of you are working in the AI space at the moment. Does anybody want to give a quick intro into what Gen AI actually means?
The generative AI is the new concept of the AI that can generate new things, right? So it's different to the classic AI, which is the classic AI is help to solve some of the problems, like solid problems, like forecasting, like classification, or something like that. So right now we have a generative AI that can create things. So you can create image, that like keyword, or you can create code, right? So the things behind the generative AI is we call the pre-trained algorithms. That this algorithm understand the mainly language, so they are very good with the translator. And once you translate from one language to the other language, right, we feed them a lot of data, a lot of knowledge. So this pre-trained model has a lot of knowledge. For example, like Python knowledge, Java knowledge, or any diagram knowledge.
You talked about it understands code, it has more knowledge. Give us an example of using Gen AI in the software collaboration space.
In the past, when we develop the model, let's say the model that can detect the car damage. So we need to bring the image, the actual image of the damage of the car. We collect the image for like 3 months, and then we have enough image to train to any kind of AI model. So this is a traditional way that we used to do. But because of the generative AI that it can generate image, we use some of the small set of the car image and ask the generative AI to create the damage in every angle of the car. Instead of we collect the image for 3 months, we can get the set of the image within the days.
And so each time you input more images into it, it's going to get better and better.
Yeah. So the concept of the AI is we feed more good data, right? They have more knowledge and they predict better.
That just needs a small amount of human intervention at first, and then you can take away the human and it can run autonomously? Or do you think that there always needs to be a human intervention?
I believe in augmented intelligence, not to replace the human with AI. And this is also the principle of our company, that we're going to use AI to enhance people capabilities. So we may select some tasks to replace by AI. For example, if someone that need to see the document, like 1,000 documents every day, we're gonna add the AI to him or her to scan the document for them, and then let them make decisions if this document is good or bad.
AI taking over our jobs, developers' jobs. We've got Delvin now, which apparently write codes for us. So you panelists, what do you think about that statement of AI taking over our jobs?
But the people who doesn't use AI will be overshadowed by people who use AI, like Copilot, like GitHub Copilot, to help us write the code itself. And when we do some maybe like some fixing and some changes, usually we'll have to do something called opening a pull request, and we have to enter a detail on, okay, in this case, what did I fix, and what's the supposed result. And sometimes it's just menial. It's just something that takes time. It's unnecessary to take some time just to work on this. So we just use AI just to automate everything else. And with that, it helps us a lot in our software workflow. So when we have a new feature or when we are pushing stuff, building stuff, we don't really take that much time to write anything. We just use AI to analyze our code and just let AI explain on what's happening. Non-developers and developers are the me and designers. So sometimes designers does not have they sometimes miss out on some user experience wise. Like my team did a great design, but sometimes there's just something that are quite not it yet, and I know how to figure it out, but I don't know really on how to explain it or how to visualize it, because sometimes I just point and they still don't understand. So in that case, I use a software called v0.dev just to, I explain on what I want to AI, and I take a picture, and then it references the design back with my comment on it.
So you basically, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you basically have a design, and then you want to make you want to suggest a change to the design. So you speak that in language to AI, and then AI will spit out the new design for you.
Yep. And one thing more about v0.dev, which is really cool, is that sometimes my designers are very packed with their work, and I have to make up something quick. I can't wait for designs. Then v0 can also do that. So I just explain on what I want to do. It will just spit out all the UI for me, and it will just give out the preliminary code for me to work with. So things are just much faster when working with generative AI.
On that point, what do the panelists think about some of the up-and-coming AI tools that are available to us? Is there any tool in particular that you think deserves a highlight, or you want to start using in your day-to-day work? Or going beyond that, the future of Gen AI tooling, where does the panelists see some of these tools evolving?
I have like 3 phases. So the first phase is called narrow intelligence. So in here is like the AI can perform some specific tasks. And then the second phase is general intelligence. So this phase is like the AI can kind of mimic human intelligence. And then the last phase is the super intelligence. So this one is like AI is like I would say more smarter than people. The AI tool here is so basically I have played around with the GPT 3.5. And now it's like development to the GPT 4. But also the other interesting tool that I want to experiment is Gemini, which is claimed to be, I would say, like if you go to the Google website, they have some side-to-side comparison between the Gemini and GPT-4. So in here, one of the interesting feature that I want to experiment is like the video. So for the Gemini, they claim that you can input the video, right? And then you can ask a question on that video. So this could help, like in terms of like if you have a student or something that you need to teach, someone that you need to teach, then you can just use this AI in terms of like helping the student to understand, like for example, how to kick the ball properly, something like that.
Video, because there's a lot of tooling out there for creators in the AI space. You've got video graphics being generated for you, summaries of video being generated. Has any of the panelists worked in this space in terms of content creation around AI?
DALL-E, right? Which is now is DALL-E 4, I guess, or 3, I'm not sure. Then when you put the prompt text, and then it will populate you the picture. So in here, like basically in my day-to-day life, I use this for like when, for example, whenever I want to create some presentation and I want some like some picture to match with it. So I experience with Dowdy, but I'm also experienced with some other tool as well, which is called Midjourney. I'm not sure, like, have you been heard of? Because for me, I prefer Midjourney more because the picture is more, I would say more beautiful in my opinion.
AI to generate the mermaid for you. So in a way, that's almost like creating content for you, right?
Hi all. I have a question about security, because you always saying about creation, about generation, it's okay, but you are sharing your things with the third-party libraries, you're sharing your code, and maybe you sharing information from your company with third-party libraries. Is it okay for you, for your company? Is it secure? Because someday this data can be used against you. So what do you think about security questions?
One thing that people kind of have misconceptions on are every generative AI technologies will use your data to train again. In this case, this only applies for any public AI, for example, ChatGPT, Dolly, or maybe Midjourney. But in our company, we use something called open source AI, which is like the AI which is already made for you. And we use that like, pre-made AI to work on further. But we host the whole thing on our own servers. So things never go out of, like things won't go out to the public at all.
Yeah, definitely. Like self-hosted models are definitely a solution, but I think some of the public LLMs, they provide subscription. They promise that the code or your data doesn't live on their server except for a short while. But yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, like there are models which don't really use your data.
So I would say my question would be, or even if it ever exists already today, is there any tools other than, let's say for myself, I don't have that much of tech background, and I want to communicate with the tech people or the dev who doesn't want to have a meeting. Is there any way or something that you already use to kind of bridge that gap?
It's quite hard to say because Gen AI is still at its very infancy at this stage. It's just been around for, has been around for quite a while, like 5 or 6 years, but it just got really good just a year ago. I don't think in this case it would probably totally remove that problem out, but there will be something that will make people's life easier, right? Like, just a quick example. It's a recurring question for every PM. I think everyone still kind of have a question on that.
From the, let's say, could it help if we were to use it to create like a roadmap or even become our manager behind us? As a project manager, like what is the best kind of suggest to be even from the business side and also the tech side, and they tell us what to do, that kind of thing.
I still quite believe that it's not there yet. I think it's more of a, it's not really, I will compare it to something like painkillers environment. It's not painkiller, it's not something that it will make your problems go away, but it's something that it will augment your life better. In this case, fully relying on language models will certainly be some problem because sometimes AI are wrong and they are very confident that they are wrong. I see sometimes when AI does like 5 + 6 is 10. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, I think it still requires something augmenting, as you said. It's not something that will replace people just yet. But
let me add to some example to you. So, like everyone said that the AI can help us to do more productivity to augment our capabilities. So I will explain like 2 points. One is to augment yourself. For example, like if you don't know something, right? in the past you just read, you just ask someone else, right? Sometimes you're afraid to ask the teachers in the room, right? But the ChatGPT, for example, give you the ability to ask anything, right? That augment yourself to be better, to have more knowledge, so you can be better to communicate. Because
Okay, so we're going to call it here because we've got a couple of workshops and talks to give after this. So just give a round of applause to all the panelists.